Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars universe seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about the new Star Wars TV shows, the new Star Wars movies, as well as other projects under Jon and Dave's wing of handling the Star Wars universe in a more respectful way. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that we are actually getting very much close to, of course, not just the end of the Kenobi series, which by the way is going to take place at the very end of June, leading into July, mind you, but we also have the Andor series dropping on August 31st, with of course the Bad Batch Season 2 in the near future, as well as the Mandalorian Season 3, now in February of 2023, and a lot more shows to drop as well. Now, with that being said, however, we already know also that a lot of things are being done between Jon, George, and Dave, as well as Deborah Chow, who, by the way, is going to be involved in multiple other Star Wars TV shows as well, working alongside both Jon and Dave Filoni, not just directing, but also lending a hand in writing some episodes of new and upcoming Star Wars TV shows. So, with that being said, alright, there's a lot of work being done on the new Star Wars universe, especially starting off with the Kenobi TV series. Now, there's been a lot of development recently with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, in case you guys did not know. They actually have multi-show contracts, so they are all set and ready to return as both Kenobi, Anakin, and Vader in multiple other projects, not just for the Kenobi show, but also for other TV shows that will be in live action and animated form as well. So, with that being said, however, what's even all the more exciting is everything to do with the Kenobi TV show and its expansion. So on top of all of this, with the Kenobi TV series now out on Disney Plus with the third episode airing in a couple of days, creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are beginning to work on numerous other Star Wars TV shows that will be announced by this fall and at the next Star Wars Celebration. Now, it's described, however, that currently Deborah Chow, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni are all putting together plans for a second season for the Kenobi series that is going to be announced sometime by the end of this year, leading into 2023. The big plan by Chow, Filoni, and Favreau is to use many of the original storyboards and scripts that were either intended for the Kenobi movie or the original series before it got rewritten. One major scene that is set to become a part of the second season of the Kenobi series is going to involve a big piece in canon history where they are planning for both Darth Maul and Darth Vader to meet in person for the very first time in live action form. Now, this is described to have something to do with Darth Maul's crime syndicate getting briefly involved with the Empire for a great reward, and the story of how the Empire turns against his crime syndicate in the Kenobi series' second season. Both Favreau and Filoni have wanted both Maul and Vader to meet for a very long time now, and it is something that is set to take place on a brand new world that is the home or another location dedicated to Darth Vader. Much like his castle on Mustafar, this world is described to be very full of snow, almost Hoth-like, with a large canyon and windstorms in the background that take place. Now, the storyboards for the original scripts and storyboards of Kenobi as well once had a brief moment where Maul makes a deal with Darth Vader for a great reward. Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, I don't know about you guys, but to me, I think that both Maul and Vader meeting is very risky. You have to really be very careful with how you do this lore, with how you treat this entire, confrontation between these two characters. To me, I personally think it's best to kind of keep them separated, but that's just me. I trust in Jon and Dave Filoni on taking care of things properly, but at the end of the day, right, I think that everything related to how the Sith turned against Maul and how the Empire is a part of that as well, and how Maul has a lot of problems with the Empire, that's exactly why he has that crime syndicate as well. You can see that in Solo: A Star Wars Story, his specific syndicate, Crimson Dawn, is stealing from the Empire. So he's gaining off of the Empire. But this is where things get more involved. We're going to get into this in just a second, of what the storyboards originally intended for the original Obi-Wan Kenobi movie were actually set to use. So that's going to be applied to the second season of the Kenobi show. Now, this actually gets more intense, is that on top of all of that, however, alright, Maul is described to have cruel intentions against the Empire and against the Sith, and is trying to play both sides to turn against them both. This is a scene that John and Dave, as well as Deborah Chow, are heavily discussing right now for the second season of the Kenobi series, where both Maul and Vader meeting is said to take place within a new structure on this Hoth-like world that will give fans their very first look at Vader intimidating Maul. Now, John and Dave are said to be approaching this very carefully, as they know that too much of this can be canon breaking, of course, and could have a big effect on the lore, negatively speaking, and that they are creating ways that will make a lot of sense for the series. The second season of Kenobi was recently greenlit by Disney CEO Bob Chapek in order to further explore fan-favorite characters within this era of Star Wars. Now, other storyboards involve Darth Maul and Darth Vader discussing about a group of hidden Jedi across the galaxy on a planet in the Outer Rim called Mu. Now, this planet called Mu is said to have many ties to the ancient Jedi, and is said to even be the location of where Ahsoka Tano is in hiding, as well as at this point in time training other Jedi. Now, we talked about this, about how they are doing a recast of Ahsoka Tano. Originally, Rosario Dawson was attached to having an involvement in the continuation of the Kenobi show and other TV shows that are going to revolve around the time period of the Kenobi series to portray a younger version of the Ahsoka Tano character. That has now actually been given over to Laura Harrier from the Spider-Man movies. I don't know if you guys saw the first Disney Spider-Man film, Homecoming. She played Liz. She is set to portray a young version of Ahsoka Tano. Before that, it was intended for Chloe Bennet, but she walked away from the multi-show contract deal that she was being offered. Now that deal is being handed down to Laura Harrier from Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, on top of all of this, alright, like I said before, Vader and Maul meeting, it cannot really be all that extensive. I feel that something like that has to be done very carefully and, very much in a careful manner, because at the end of the day, in canon and in Legends, alright, we didn't really have anything like that in the literal sense where Vader and Maul actually meet. There were visions, yes, there were other incarnations of Darth Maul that met Vader, but not the real Darth Maul that we know. So, at the end of the day, it's going to take a lot of, time and effort and focus to make this feel right, to make it feel realistic, and in my point of view, they have to really kind of keep it down to a bare minimum. Having too much screen time between both Darth Maul and Darth Vader, I will agree, can come off as a little odd and a little out of place, but if you keep it tightened up and you keep it short, I think that's when it'll come off as realistic. But overall, these were a part of the Kenobi movie scripts and storyboards that are now being thrown into the second season of the Kenobi show. So, like I say, I think that we have to give Bob Chapek a lot of credit, because he is the guy that's allowing all of this to happen between Favreau and Filoni now getting involved with the Kenobi series and working alongside Deborah Chow as well. So yeah, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.